Okay, here we go. This is my first time brewing with the electric brew system. Oh, by the way, happy Homebrew Wednesday. I think this is my 15th episode, and this should be a good one. As you can see here, got my electric system set up, and I'm doing my first ever attempt at it. So anyway, I'll come back and get you a better view. Okay, so right now I've already got the water in the hot liquor tank. Got it set for about I don't know, about 172. So I heated it up. It took a little bit to get it heated up, but I got a full 15 gallons in here, heated up and ready to go whenever I start doing the circulation. I have my boil kettle here, or excuse me, the mash tun. Already have the grain in there. I'm going to do what's called underletting. Try that out, where I've always seen it and wanted to try it, where instead of putting the hot water in and then pouring the grain in, you put the grain in and then put the water in from the bottom, so it'll come in through here. It'll rise up and should keep me from having any dough balls. And this is my boil kettle, so I'm using this. I've got about, I don't know, around a little over 3.6 gallons of water in here. I'm going to heat that up to about 172, and then I'm going to run that through my second pump here into, actually from here into the pump, out the pump, and then into my mash tun, so I can do the underletting. Once I do that, then I'll swap the cables over and go to the hot liquor tank through the Herm system, and then we'll start the recirculation for the mash. So I'm going to not take too many videos while I'm doing this, because I'm worried I'm going to have an issue. I had some leaks last night. I did a wet test and I ran water through all the pumps, and everywhere where you see these little cylinder metal adapters, these right here, I had to put plumber tape on each one of these metal connections. The plastic ones are fine. It's the metal to metal that I had to go and so you see another one right here. There's a couple of them in here. There's two on each pump. So once I did that, now I don't seem to be leaking, so I think we're all set. Had to worry about the countertop because of the heat, because I kind of went for mica countertop since it's a basement. So I went and got some finished plywood, treated finished plywood, and I put some legs on the bottom so there's a gap between the countertop and the wood. So hopefully that doesn't melt my countertop. Don't think it's going to. Got my hood up here, set up ready to go. When I keep the lids on, that keeps most of the amount of steam, and so should be enough for the vapor control. So anyway, we'll come back in a few. Okay, so I got my mash tun temp set. I had to go to about 152 to try to keep it right around 154 where I want it. Got my hot liquor tank set at what's going to be my sparge temperature, so that's enough to keep it at 150, or keep it at the mash tun as it goes through the heat exchanger, so that works great. You can see here I got the mash sitting in there nicely. The underlet worked really nice. I didn't catch it on film, so maybe I can get that next time. And loving this heat exchanger system. This is really the way to go. Really nice. Okay, so I finished the mash. Now I've got the sparge set up, so I got the hot liquor tank shooting its hot water out at 168 degrees. It's going into the pump, out of the pump, and through its coil, out of its coil, and into the back side of my mash tun here. And I've got the auto sparge arm set up at 2 inches above the grain bed, so if it drops below that, it will start trickling more water into it, so it keeps a constant level. Then it comes out of the mash tun to the inlet valve of the second chugger pump, out of that valve, and into I got a slow trickle coming in of wort, coming into my boil kettle. So, and as you can see, I got a hot blocker there. I'll try to use that today too. So anyway, got a pretty good system going here. I did my first runnings, and I was at 1076 at 119 degrees Fahrenheit. I haven't worked out the efficiency yet, but it's or the adjusted gravity, but it's looking pretty good. So, alright, so I'm back. Alright, so this will be the wrap-up video. I was very happy with how the electric brewing system worked out. Learned a few lessons. I think probably the first lesson is you don't disconnect the hot liquor tank to clean it until after the boil. And the reason that is because the temperature probe is connected to the EBC, the electric brewing control system. So this box here, the temperature probe, plugs in here to the side, and when you use the brew kettle, there's not a separate. You have to use the same electrical plug, the same 3-prong. In this particular setup, it doesn't have its own receptor, so you got to swap it out with the hot liquor tank. So when you disconnect the temperature probe from the hot liquor tank, there's nothing to signal the heater to turn on. So when you're using just a brew kettle, you set the temperature to like 212, and it'll continuously read whatever's in the hot liquor tank, which is, I don't know, 120, whatever the water happens to be, and that continuously fires the heating coil in the brew kettle, and it seems like it maxes out. You can go to a pretty vigorous boil, and then you have a hopefully you can see this right here, that you can rapidly decrease the boil temperature in the boil kettle, and it's really, really responsive. It's very quick, so you can easily prevent a boil over that with a spray bottle. Other lesson I learned was I did the underletting for the mash, and what I found was trying to rely on the sight glass on the boil kettle, which is what I use to heat the strike water. You probably need to go a little higher than what, I needed 3.6 gallons to go in for the strike water, and that's exactly what I had on the sight glass, when really you need to go a little bit higher than that, because you don't get quite all of the water to drain out when you use the pump on the boil kettle. So next time I will maybe put 5.5 gallons in there and then drop it 3.5 gallons, so I know exactly how much fluid went into the mash tun. Other than that, it was pretty worry-free. I was amazed at how easy the pumps make it when you're transferring water back and forth. Cleaning wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So anyway, Josh Secor, I know that you don't have any sympathy for my last week experience of breaking the 5 gallons of Hefeweizen all over my kitchen upstairs, because you knew that I was getting this thing, and I gotta say, now I understand why. It's certainly much more fun, much more interesting, and less labor intensive, using the electric system down here. So glad I got it. If you're thinking about doing it, I highly recommend it if you can stack away some cash to buy one of these things. So anyway, until next week, look forward to dialing in some more consistent recipes. I got the SJ Pour Challenge coming up that I've got some ideas for with local recipes, and I look forward to tweaking something out. I got some friends that I promised I would do a double bock for them, and I'm going to be gearing this thing up. We're going to have an Oktoberfest late September for our block party here in our neighborhood, so I'll crank out a few beers for that. So this thing's going to get quite a bit of work out this summer. So anyway, that's all I got for this week. Have a great homebrew, have a good brew, and happy Homebrew Wednesday.